Salutations fam, this is Dark Salutations from Haltessiagaming, and in today's video, I am finally going to be showcasing my Master Duel branded Blue Eyes deck profile. So, full disclosure, the reason why this video ended up taking so long was because I've just, been having too much fun playing Master Duel. I've been playing the deck and I just kept going like, oh wait a minute, oh I should probably make a video about it. But yeah, I'm gonna showcase some replays, show the deck list, all that good stuff. So first replay, these aren't actually, this isn't actually one of the replays that I saved. This is just one of the replays from when you go into your match history, and I just kind of clicked on this. But this is a game I had against Pendulum. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Just Endymion, Mighty Master, all that. Just, basic pen. Yeah, they're gonna do pendulum thing. I'm just gonna kind of sit here and wait for them to finish. Good Wombo here. Gonna go Celine. Alrighty. So I will try to point out like game state decisions as they happen. Also, we're just built differently. Stage line Nadir. We're gonna normal the fall in the Malbeth to force out the Jackal King negate because as far as I'm aware, that's the only like interruption. Then we're gonna go ahead and tactics. We're gonna draw some cards, at which point they're gonna do this and special from hand their other interruption, which is really important that they just ended up having this. But this thing, which special summons from deck, and then yeah, but they're gonna go Branded Fusion, and then they're gonna chain. You're gonna special summon. Actually, I can fast forward this part. Special summon the one that bounces. We're gonna go ahead and make Lubellion effect. They're gonna go ahead and activate to bounce so that we can't go ahead and fusion summon properly. But it's fine because we're just going to Albion and then Albion effect. Go ahead and go into Mirror Jade that way. We do end up losing a bit of resources, but it's whatever. Go ahead and special summon the Ecclesia. Follow it up with a Nadir, pick up Floor, Entis pop, one of the Scales, Mirror Jade, Vanish. Gonna go ahead and hit over you. And it's at this point that I realized that like this, so you can't attack this while there's an Endymion card on the field, not a monster. So while this is in the skill, you can't clear over this, and I didn't realize that, so yeah. Gonna go ahead and set up Brandon in red, set up for this play. I'm just gonna go chicken game, draw a card. I wonder if they drew that skill off the top. I'm gonna be so salty if they drew that skill off the top. I'm gonna go ahead and add the Theater. They're pen summoning, and they're gonna call by my Entis, which is really unfortunate. Then they're gonna link summon for another Celine, get a bunch of spell counters. We're gonna go ahead and call by the other Celine and then activate Floor, because we do want to force out the Jackal King negate so that we can punishment successfully and not have to worry about it. That puts them in a really awkward position. They hit over our Eluder, which is chilling. Then Titanically, we're gonna get another Ecclesia, search another punishment. Go from here. We got an Albion. Gonna send the Branded Sword. I didn't end up continuing to play this. One thing you will notice is that the build will change like quite a lot. The Master Duel experience. Gonna add back that Fallen Albaz and realize that I can't actually use Branded Fusion because I punishmented last turn, but it's fine because we just set up this and we're chilling. So now they're at a point where they can't really do anything. They can pen summon one. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and just punishment that. Just go ahead and not have to deal with it. Set Chimera Felicia. They're going to go ahead and scoop it up there. Yeah, very, very simple game there. Alrighty, so match number 2 is going to be, I think, going second against Sword Soul. Yeah, gonna normal summon Moye, reveal Adhara, get their token, make Chichao. The same standard combo we've seen a million times. Gonna search Long Yuan, gonna special Long Yuan, dish the Adhara, get that token, make Baron, burn me for 12. I've been burned for 12. Then they're gonna. So I just want to point out, in the games that I play, I've had an opponent open Fusion Destiny on like 4 times. It's like, bro, it's at 1. Come on, stop opening Fusion Destiny. But it's fine because we drew insane. So the sad thing about this is I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna Branded Fusion here and hope they negate with Baron so that I can just activate the second Branded Fusion. And that is what ends up happening, and I'm like, yes, we win the game. I just follow with the second Branded Fusion, chain drip, send both, go ahead and turn off the other monsters. Make Albion, and then Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, and they have Ghost Spells. I'm like, aw, come on. But it's fine, because we still OTK here. We'll go ahead and attack. Just going to take the Baron. We're going to special Ecclesia, get Floor, add Floor to hand. Because what I was going to do, I was going to make Tyrant Dragon here, and then just hit over everything, and then, like, kill them that way. But, they stopped me from getting Tyrant Dragon, unfortunately, but it's fine. We still have the OTK. Just swing with everything, and then we kill them with the Run Baron. Well, that's the end of that one. Alrighty, so, okay. I was like, is it stuck? But yeah, a lot of the games do actually end up going really, really quickly with this deck. It's like, if you go off, it's pretty strong. So it's like, towards the latter half of the video, I am going to be showcasing the games where, you know, you get interrupted, you're going second, all of that stuff. But I still wanted to showcase, like, these games, because I've noticed in previous videos, I have a bad habit of, like, not showing these, so you end up not really understanding, like, what the play lines are. So I wanted to make sure, like, I showcase both. Go ahead and make the Mirror Gate. Nadir. Special Ecclesia, pick up Punishment, and then we'll set. Is this the game where I get nibbed? I got nibbed, yeah. So I've made this mistake a lot of times. You're not supposed to send Albion here. You're supposed to send Brigand, or like Brigand, Titaniclad, anything that is not a monster that is on the field and about to go to the grave. Because there's actually a couple of games today that I was playing where I did this, and I was like, and then after this went to grave, and I looked and I saw 2 Albions in grave, I was like, oh, that's right. But yeah, this ends up happening, unfortunately. It didn't end up mattering. So I want to explain this play real quick. So the reason why I droplet here is so that the Fallen of Albaz is in grave, so that I'm able to actually utilize Branded in red to, like, by adding back Fallen of Albaz. Yeah. And then Mirror J's gonna blow that up. Yeah, we wanted to set up a Branded in red play. Yep. They're gonna draw and then scoop it up, because I've got, what, 1, 2, 3 interruptions still. Like I said, a lot of the games did end up going like this really, really fast, and so, like, I didn't want to have too many of those games, but I didn't want to exclude them like I usually do. Now we get to the good stuff. So I actually forgot. I did want to showcase this game. This is another game where you go first and you just kind of, like, destroy them. But, yeah, I wanted to showcase this game because it was just, whew, boy. Always love getting to use Branded Lost. Gonna summon Albion, trigger Albion, Stone of Legend, and Branded Lost. Gonna add the bird, and then fusion, make Lubellion, add the blue eyes. So to explain this interaction real quick, the way it works, right, is Stone of Legend triggers Chainlink 1 and Albion triggers Chainlink 2. And then, you know, obviously in this case, I activated Branded Lost Chain on 3. But the point is that, like, because the chain will resolve, you'll have that Blue Eyes added to your hand before Lubellion triggers, so you have that free discard. You do this if you look at your hand and you go, I don't want to discard any of these cards, but I still want to be able to have my recyclable branded engine. So that's the line you do for that. If you have like a good discard, you send Stone of Ancients, so you can have Jet Dragon on the board too. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. Set up Mirror Jade. Also, the reason why I like do it like this is so that this Albion is on the board. So if, like, let's say they have like a Kaiju or something, this Mercurier isn't automatically dead. So it's like I still have, like, I have a bunch of layers of interruptions, right? So it's like they can't just have like a board wipe. They have to have like specific kinds of like removal, because it's like I have, you know, interruption in the front row, interruption in the back row, and hand traps. So it's like it's very hard for them to just like do a thing that just breaks this. Now, actually, something I wanted to like point out about this one is, so they had Ash Blossom, but they obviously let my branded stuff go through. Now, when I play against players, I always assume that I'm getting big ringed, right? I always assume that they are a skilled player. In reality, what it probably was they misunderstood how branded loss works. Because obviously it says you can't negate, right? Right? The activation of your cards and effects can't be negated, right? So they think I can't negate Branded Fusion while Branded Loss is on the board, so I'm not going to use my Ash on Branded Fusion. That is not how it works, actually, because it doesn't say the activation and effects of your cards. It says the activation. Ash Blossom does not negate the activation, it just negates the effect, so you can Ash Blossom Branded Fusion under Branded Loss. However, going back to the whole big brain thing, right? I'm thinking to myself, why would you Ash Blossom the Stone of Ancients instead of the Branded Fusion when you have Ash Blossom? I'm thinking to myself, well, if you know, because like the Branded Blue Eyes variant has actually, you know, gotten quite popular on Master Duel. You know that Stone of Ancients in this scenario summons Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, right? You know that it summons Jet Dragon. So in that case, right, that probably means they have board wipes, right? They have removal that Jet Dragon will prevent from being effective. So in that case, I want to make sure that this Jet Dragon hits the board to make sure that the removal is not effective. So yeah, that's kind of the idea with that. I wanted to make sure that they couldn't just go Lightning Storm, Duster, Raigeki, whatever, right? So that's why I Mercurier negated the Ash to make sure that this Jet Dragon hits the board, because I am assuming that they have removal. Unfortunately, for some reason in Master Duel, like when you watch back replays, you can't see what their hand was. But that's like my thinking and what my thought process is behind negating the Ash Blossom to make sure the Jet Dragon hits the board. Because at the end of the day, I still have D-Barrier Ash Blossom, right? D-Barrier Ash Blossom Mirror Jade, actually. They do that, I'm like, that's fine, I don't really care. They're gonna go ahead and Long Yuan. Summon the token, I'm going to Mirror Jade, banish the token. Sending Albion, so I have to follow up. They're gonna summon the Ecclesia. I'm gonna call Synchro, so they can't summon Baron, and then that's the end of the game. Yeah. But yeah, that's the last of the sweeps, I guess. Now we move on to the really good games, I think, probably. So this is kind of awkward, because I keep going like, oh yeah, there's not going to be any more sweeps, but I'm starting to realize how strong this deck is, because I'm looking at these replays, I'm like, and looking at like the matches, I'm like, huh. A lot of these matches were kind of sweeps. A lot of these matches were like just really dominant. I get shifted here, so I think you know what deck we're playing against here. But this one has like one of my favorite plays, because it gets to show off one of my favorite uses of one of my favorite cards. So they go ahead and activate the map. They're gonna go ahead and reveal Rabina, banish, and then normal summon Rabina. I'm gonna Ash the Rabina. So actually, let me explain this interaction real quick. So you'll see they banish the continuous spell here. Now I'm hard reading, right? I'm hard reading that they have what's the one that like targets one of your banish and like adds it back to your hand? Like whichever one that is, I'm hard reading that they have that. Gonna go ahead and ask. They pass. The D shifter has worn off, so I'm gonna go ahead and brand fusion now. Going to summon Albion here. Right, they're gonna flip up Imperm, and then I'm gonna flip up my Imperm, targeting the Rabina. And you may notice that this card is in the same column as my Imperm. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this to negate the Imperm. They're gonna DD Crow my Stone of Ancients, which is kinda cringe, I fully expecting the DD Crow to fall in Valbath, but it's like, it's whatever. This does suck because it does hurt my follow-up a little bit, but we're gonna go ahead and negate the Imperm. One thing I will say is that once I saw the D shifter, I probably should have kept the D barrier in hand as a discard. It actually would have played around the DD Crow, but the two decks that I expect to be playing D shifter are obviously Flu, which is like what it is 90% of the time, so I probably should have held the D barrier, but also Grand Maju, because I definitely got hit with somebody playing Grand Maju OTK, and so having this to call Xyz against that deck is pretty important. But continuing, I'm gonna go ahead and Lubellion, pitch the kit, and go ahead and shuffle back and summon Mirror Jade. Now we're gonna go ahead and Punishment, hit the Rabina, and Tiz pop the field spell because we don't want them to have access to extra normal. Gonna hit them for 55, and then we're going to activate Mirror Jade effect. We're gonna banish our Albion, sending Titaniklad, and obviously they see where that's going because we're going to special Ecclesia, search floor, and then that's going to put them in a situation where even if they have another bird, it doesn't actually matter. Yeah, and now we're going to go ahead and showcase, I think I have like 2 left. Let's skip the waiting time. Here we are. This is one of my favorites. So we are going second against Brave Sorkel, Brave Pengy, whatever you want to call it. The Wombo Combo Adventure Synchro deck that ends on this really big board. But yeah, they do the whole thing when summon the Baron Day floor. Oh man. Oh yeah, so they're gonna get the Basil Rose. Special back. Again, Wombo comboed. Wombo comboed. Baron pop Yazi. Yazi effect. Special. Summon Long Yuan. Long Yuan special. Special summon King. Now, the thing is, originally when I was playing this game, I thought they missequenced this and that they were going to make Sinister Sovereign. And I was like, oh, if you did it the other way, you would have drawn a card. But then they made Hulk, and I was like, oh no. And I was like, wait a minute, you can't do a Rorodon combo, you don't have enough room. I was wrong. I was wrong. They had enough room. They're just making a different kind of a Rorodon combo. They're not doing the Cupid Pitch combo, they're doing the O-Line combo. And I was like, oh no. So they get this, they're going to Synchro, they're going to summon a Borloat Savage Dragon. And they're going to, you know, special the token. They're going to Jet Synchron, pitch, and special, and make a... So honestly, actually, after they made Hulk and summoned Jet Synchron, what I thought was going to happen was that they were going to Scythe Lock me. And I was like, oh no, I can't beat Scythe Lock unless I top deck a monster. And then, like that whole sequence after they made Chingy was just an emotional roller coaster. Because I kept thinking they were going to do something, and then they did something completely different. I was like, oh no. But, yeah, then they made the, Savage, and then they made the, I thought they were gonna Scythe Lock me, but then they made Herald, and I was like, oh no! This gets really awkward, so, yeah, I did end up top decking the monster, and I was like, dang, this sucks. So, basically, I go normal summon a Luber, right? So, there's a couple of different scenarios here, and basically I'm trying to go, like, do you end up using the Herald here, right? If they use the Herald here, so basically, like, this is the scenario, right? If they Herald, then I can Droplet, because it's not on the field anymore. But if they don't herald, I can still drop, like, basically it's like a win-win situation, kind of, with like varying degrees of effectiveness. Because if they do herald, then I can droplet sending this Stone of Ancients from hand, and I get like a way bigger plus. But this doesn't resolve, and I don't get like Branded Fusion, and it's like, actually, yeah, it's like the herald being tributed is like the bad case scenario, because I don't get to use I don't get to resolve Branded Fusion, right? But if they don't send the herald, then I can Forbidden Droplet, send the Aluber from field, and then droplet them. And that's what ends up happening. They go Savage, I go Droplet, send a bunch of stuff, and turn off the board. And then we go ahead and get ourselves a Branded Fusion, and we just pop off from there. So yeah. Gonna go ahead and get Albion. So this is before I was playing the Tragedy. In this scenario, I would have just sent Tragedy. Now, actually, so this is I was going to go Tyrant, clear the board, and OTK, but then I realized Albion banishes to Fusion Summon, and then that triggers Chain Ying. And it sucked because, like, again, if I was playing the Tragedy, I wouldn't have even needed to do that. I would have been able to just go Lubellion, pitch the Stone of Ancients, you know, make my plays, and, like, not even have to trigger the Chain Ying. And it does kind of put me in a really awkward position, because I think they banished the Blue Eyes? No, we picked the Stone. They banished the Stone of Ancients, that's what happened. And I was like, dang, that sucks. And so we went, instead of making the Tyrant here, we basically lose the ability to go for the Tyrant play. And so instead we just go ahead and make Mirror Jade, and we just clear the board that way. We go Mirror Jade, we're going to go ahead and banish that, send Titaniclad, hit over that, hit over this. We don't care about this anymore because it's effectively just a vanilla now because it lost the Boral counters. So just one quick thing I want to just talk about with Savage. A lot of people don't actually know this, but it does not get the negates from the equip. It gains the negates from the Boral counters. So, right? It gains the negates from the Boral counters. So if you like Cosmic Cyclone the equip, that doesn't get rid of the ability for it to negate. It can still negate because it still has Boral counters. You have to negate the monster so it loses the Boral counters. But yeah. Then we break the board, and, you know, they go ahead and Fateful. They're going to get right. Now, I did not forget that they have a Vishuda engrave. I'm just waiting for them to, like, actually put the token on board. They're going to go ahead and go right. I'm going to flip up Punishment. We cannot let that go through. We're going to send Chimera Felicia. Going to attack. Kill my monster. I'm like, that's cool. And we're chilling. Then, on the follow-up turn, we're going to go ahead and Chimera Felicia. And I would have added Fusion Deployment, but I realized when I saw my choices that I couldn't add Fusion Deployment because I pitched it in my opening hand to, like, help break the board. And it's just like, dang, that sucks, but it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and special summon the Fleur-de-Lis and just attack for a game. And that's the end of this one. And then the last replay, because we're getting close to 30 minutes, and we do still want to have some time for the deck profile. Yeah, the last one's going to be against Dragon Link, and I got to say, it was really, really fun to play that one. Alright, so last match is going to be... So you're playing against Dragon Link. They get to go first. Oh wait, hold up. Let me go ahead and pass forward. Gonna add Rocket Synchron. They're gonna normal Rocket Synchron, targeting the Apps Rider Dragon. I let this go through because I want them to be locked into Darks because I want to limit their plays. And you know, I'm cool with this. They're going to Striker Dragon. I'm going to go ahead and Imperm the Striker Dragon. And that, normally, right? Normally in this scenario, this would have just ended the turn, right? This would have just ended the turn. But, they opened Fusion Destiny! Everyone been opening Fusion Destiny! And I'm just like, ugh, this sucks. But it's fine because I do have the Jet Dragon. Now, it's really unfortunate because I wanted to normal Aluber and get Branded Loss, but I know that that's pointless because they're just going to, like, DP. And instead I go, I have to force out this DP, so I'm going to normal fall in the Balbaz, force out the DP, so I don't have to deal with it. They're going to chain it, This is fine. Then we're gonna go ahead and Brand Fusion, and they're so good. They have the Ash Blossom too, right? They have the Ash Blossom too, but because okay, so the thing is, right? The reason why I held the call by instead of just like call buying DP, because I was specifically like they have Ash Blossom. They open Fusion Destiny. They also have Ash Blossom. I just know it. Yeah, we need this to go through, and I'm like, let's see if they're like just actually the best player in the game. And they have a Ghost Spell too. Thankfully they did not also have Ghost Spell. Because otherwise I would have just been like, dang, this sucks. We summon Lubellion. Gonna pitch that Blue Eyes White Dragon. And this match in particular is my favorite because it just showcases just how ridiculously good Jet Dragon is. And also how ridiculously good DP is. Because that's like basically the entire game. It's just Jet Dragon DP. Yeah, we clear the board, we get Jet Dragon, and DPE comes back. DPE, and this is where my opponent reads Jet Dragon, and they realize that Jet Dragon is a crazy card. They're gonna Dragon Ravine. Now I have to be very, very careful about how I play this out because I just have Mirror Jade. This is my only interruption, and they normal summon the Tracer. I kind of just have to let this go through. There's like so much that I have to just let happen because I have to like really, really time my interruption. I basically just have to let them get away with doing whatever they want because I can't actually stop everything. At this point, they summon this. They go Malicious Effect, and here I have to use the Mirror Jade because this is a Borderland Dragon, and if they summon Borderland, then I just lose the game because they just Borderland negate this, and then they just kill me. So I go ahead and Mirror Jade Effect, and we're gonna send Titaniclad, banish this, and I'm like, okay, I'm hoping that you don't have, you know, any like follow-up here. They link off for I just realized Pentasag is a dart. I didn't know that. I thought it was like an earth. And I'm like, I'm kind of curious where they go, but then I see like, oh right, they summon the Tracer, and they make Borreload Dragon. And I realize this is actually really strong here. I'm sitting here like, I don't know if I can beat this. I don't know if I can beat Borreload, because like, he's gonna take my stuff. So he goes ahead and reduces this, attacks, takes my Mirror Jade, and I'm just like, dang, that sucks. But that's fine, because we're gonna go ahead and Ecclesia, we're gonna pick up the floor. Right? Draw for turn, and at this point I realized, oh wait, DP's coming back. And it's like, oh no. We're gonna go ahead and Nadir, add another Ecclesia, special Ecclesia, we're gonna get punishment. And again, we're just trying to like force out as much as we can. DP's gonna go ahead and pop that Jet Dragon, and I'm like, that's fine. I'm gonna swing, take some damage, and we're gonna go ahead and special back the Jet Dragon. Gonna go ahead and bounce this back. Set punishment, Albion effect. Go ahead, set Brandon in red. Go from there. And again, I made the same mistake of like sending the Albion when I was going to put Albion in grave anyway. So if I would have sent like Brigand here, I'd have more stuff to play with. And that's just something I just got to get used to, is like being able to send Brigand, because that was like a recent addition to the deck, was adding Brigand. And just in general, like just not sending Albion when I'm about to put Albion in grave anyway. And then we summon back DP once again, and then we go ahead and we're gonna brand it in red immediately, because I can't let this resolve. I have to get rid of this, because otherwise I'm just gonna keep bringing stuff back, right? I have to get rid of their stuff. I go for a Guardian Chimera line here. Now, I was thinking about like what I wanted to like do, because I was thinking like, okay, if I fuse away Jet Dragon, then I lose out on Jet Dragon like indefinitely. I still have the punishment, but this does, like, I could pop the Borreload, I could pop the Boot Sector Launch, but I'm getting rid of my grind game and I'm putting myself in a pretty bad situation. So, but if I keep the floor, then I have the negate, and so it's just a matter of like, do I want to keep the Jet Dragon or the floor negate? I ended up keeping the Jet Dragon because I was like, well, this Dragon Link, they probably have a lot of gas, I'm just going to let it happen. They're going to pop this, and I'm like, that's fine. I'm going to pop the Borreload. DP's going to trigger, Jet Dragon's going to trigger, come right back. And then they go ahead and Bootstick to launch, and it's at this point that I realize they have 3 rockets engraved, so they just get to soul charge, and I'm just like, yeah, I kind of just have to let them do this. And I'm just like, yeah, I just have to let them do this. They summon Savage. At this point, I go ahead and flip up Punishment and pop the Savage. Sending the second Mirror Jade, they're going to go ahead and recharge their effect, bring back the Boral Ode. And at which point, I'm just kind of chilling. We can go ahead and take my Guardian Chimera. I can't really do anything about it. We're going to hit over my monster. And then they're going to link summon into Topologic Zeroboros. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is the problem. So here I thought what they were going to do was DPE special to the Zeroboros zone and banish my Jet Dragon. But that also banished their DP, so I understand why they didn't do that. I'm going to go ahead and special the Kit. Go ahead and pick up the Branded in red. I'm going to put back the Imperm. I'm going to norm summon Fallen Valbass. I'm going to enter battle. They're going to go ahead and pop the Jet Dragon. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and crash and then trigger Jet Dragon, bring yourself back. So I naturally want to place the Jet Dragon in this far right zone, and like as soon as I was about to do it, I looked at the top of the Zeroboros up there, and I was like, oh my goodness, if I wasn't paying attention, I just lost the game here. But yeah, this is basically the end of the game. I have Brandon in red if they have like anything else, and then like Hit just hits for game. And it's just like, this game really just showcases how like good the Jet Dragon actually is, because it's just like, and also just how good DP is, because like DPE is what kept him in the game, and like Jet Dragon is what kept me in the game. But that's gonna be it for the replays. Now we get to go on to the deck profile portion. Alrighty, so now we get to showcase the deck profile. Yeah, I ended up really enjoying this deck. There were a lot of changes that ended up happening over the course of my time playing the game. I'm like playing the deck, playing the game. Actually, I haven't summoned this a single time. Actually, I might end up cutting this. Actually looking. See, like I just keep changing the deck. I keep changing the deck. But just like kind of going over things real quick. The Blue Eyes package has just like been trimmed down very significantly because you just have so much access to it. Like pretty much every card in the deck gets you to Blue Eyes. So it's like, you don't actually need to like have that much of it. And Lubellion, actually, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of Quertus and play a second Lubellion. Because, yeah, I actually just never, I actually never summoned this either. I never summoned that. No, that's my bookmarks. Where's the history? There we go. So actually, it's a matter of what, actually, yeah, this, yeah. Wait, no. Quertus is probably better than Masquerade. Alright, yeah. That's what we're gonna do. Alright, anyway, back to what I was saying. You have so many ways to access your engine, and being able to trim down the deck and not have to worry about like breaking on the engine is just so powerful. And it's just, I really enjoyed the list. I really enjoyed just having access to everything. I really like the Blue Eyes card. Jet Dragon is so good, man. And like one of the things about like playing the Blue Eyes cards as well is that like you don't actually care if your stuff gets banished because of Lubellion being able to just shuffle everything back. So that's something that I really enjoyed as well. You have come on, so yeah, Blue Eyes Red Dragon, Stone of Legends, Stone of Ancients, Jet Dragon, the Despia cards. You've got Tragedy, 2 Alubers, the staples, you got Triple Ash. So I was originally playing D-Barrier, as you saw in like the replays, but I swapped out D-Barrier for Tactics because I just wanted to have more matchup coverage instead of focusing more so on like winning matchups harder, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's like D-Barrier is really crazy, but it's just like Flu is a deck. Flu's a deck, Eldritch a deck. It's just like there's a lot of matchups where like that's also why I'm not playing Maxi. Just like so many matchups that are present in like the higher ranks where it's just you end up having dead cards in your hand, and it's just like I would have much rather have Tactics to be able to just like, oh, you activated I don't know, you activated Ryza or whatever, right? You activated one of your birds. I can go ahead and just Tactics, you know, draw 2, or Tactics, take, break the board. You know, it's just, and also this makes it like a lot better when it comes to actually like playing through interruptions. So that's pretty cool too. The Ecclesias, I trimmed down by Ecclesia by 1, simply because I wanted to like kind of like vary my starters. I'm still playing 11 starters, which is like the range I want. I always want to have at least an 80% chance of opening a starter card. Also, just on the topic of starters, I only consider a card to be a starter if it gives you interruption, board presence, and follow-up just by itself, right? This is why, like, I don't consider Stone of Ancients, Stone of Legend, Fusions. I don't consider those to be starters. I consider those to be pseudo-starters, right? I might actually make like a deck building guide talking about like the concepts of like, you know, consistency ratios, all that. But moving on, we're playing 2 Ecclesia, the 1 Fallen Valbass, because I don't really want to draw this card. It's one of those things where it's like, if they get rid of it, they get rid of it. It's not really the end of the world. You have like 2 other engines in the deck, so it's like I'm not really losing my mind if they get rid of it. And also, a lot of times they don't, because, you know, like, DD Crow, like, doesn't really do much when you have Blue Belly on in rotation. The Bird is really, really good to have in the deck because, you know, Branded lost. So, I also am playing the Theater. I like having access to this because sometimes you do want to just make sure you're not about to just randomly lose an Ash Blossom. And if you just have, like, stuff in your hand, like, you can just, like, fusion summon with this. This is pretty cool. Because this is just Poly as a field spell, but it also has that floating effect, which is pretty cool. But you can only summon like level 8 or higher fusion monsters. That's something to keep in mind as well. I was playing Dramaturge and the other Ad Libitum. I was playing those at one point, but I ended up cutting them because I didn't really... Actually, I don't think I ever resolved their effects a single time in my entire time playing the deck. What's another one that I was playing, but I ended up cutting? Oh, I was playing the Albion, the main deck Albion, and the Branded Sword, but that felt really win more because like you can search it off Branded Loss, and it's like nice, but it felt like win more, and it's like it was strong, but it's just like it was one of those things where it's just like I would rather see this than Albion, and like Branded Sword doesn't do anything if you draw it. It's like there are situations where I did miss it, like let's say this got like banished, like being able to like have Branded Sword to add this back and get your Branded into rotation is pretty nice, but ultimately like, again, it felt win more. A lot of times it's like even in those situations I would still win the game, so it's like I didn't really care that much. Fusion Deployment, one of the plays I almost got to show it, but I ended up having to pitch this in my opening hand. But basically, you can Punishment send Chimera Felicia and then have this search Fusion Deployment to summon Blue Eyes. I was originally playing Dragon Shrine, but I ended up cutting Dragon Shrine and just playing the Fusion Deployment. One of the things about Dragon Shrine is that once you've actually gotten rid of all your Blue Eyes stuff, then Dragon Shrine just actually doesn't do anything anymore. Whereas with this, even if you don't have any Blue Eyes monsters in your deck, you can still Stone of Ancients, add back the Vanilla, and special the Vanilla from hand with this. But then it does still summon the Blue Eyes from deck. But then also, sometimes you can Fusion Deployment, summon Fallen Valbass from deck, and just like randomly Super Volley someone, so that's pretty cool. 3 Branded Fusion, it's not, you know, standard, nothing to say about that. 3 Droplet, this is the tech lineup that I decided to go with. 3 Ash, 3 Droplet, 3 Imperm, double Tactics, double Called By, that's, and double Skill Drain. Those are my, I believe, 14 tech options that I'm playing in the deck. I'm playing the 5 cards that stop Max E. And then, like, I wanted to, like, be able to, like, play through interruptions, but I also, rather than playing, like, Max E, I decided to play Droplet because, again, like, Flu is the deck. And then also this, like, in comparison to Max E, like, Droplet is good in, like, a lot of the same matchups where Max E wins you the game. But, Droplet is also still good against Flu. But also, like, Max E, you have to open in your 5-card opening hand. Whereas Droplet, you can top deck as your 6th card. And that actually has won me a lot of games, is top decking Droplet. Whereas, like, in other builds where I was playing Max E, where I top deck Max E, it just doesn't do anything. Similar logic with, like, Imperm. Like, it's a strong hand trap. But it's, like, also another thing about, like, Droplet and Imperm compared to, like, Max E and, like, other cards is that, like, the common cards that are being played to stop hand traps do not stop these cards. You cannot call it by an Infinite Impermanence. You cannot call it by a Forbidden Droplet. You can't Ash Blossom Forbidden Droplet. You can't Ash Blossom Imperm. but you have those common counters to Max E that are being played in, I want to say, like 90% of people's decks. So that's just something that played into like why I'm not playing Max E, is just because Droplet is just better most of the time. Now the reality is that you could probably play Max E, like let's say you're playing, you know, less engine and you wanted to play more hand, like you could, like let's say you decide to not play skill drain or whatever, like you probably could play Max E, but it's just ultimately I was very happy with this list. I very much liked the way it played. Go ahead, talking about the extra deck real quick. Playing the one Entis. Sometimes I do wish I had a second Entis, but like I think it literally only came up like exactly once where I thought to myself, man, I wish I had a second Entis. Chimera Felicia, as I mentioned, you can search Fusion Deployment with this, but also it doesn't really come up super often, but you can also search Branded Fusion with this. It's any Fusion spell card. It's like, you know, any spell card, any normal or quick play spell card that mentions Fusion in the name. So like Fusion Deployment, Fusion Destiny, Branded Fusion. That's another thing you could play. You could play like the Fusion Destiny DPD package. I was trying that out with a build, but I noticed that every single game that I played, I just won anyway, and I'd never actually summoned DPE, and I thought to myself, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and take these bricks out of my deck. The deck is already strong enough without DPE. There's no reason to just add bricks to it. I guess if you were playing like regular Branded Despia, like instead of the Blue Eye stuff, you could play the DPE package, so that's just something to throw out there. Titaniclad. Also, like, when Albalatus comes out, that's what this gets replaced with, because, like, the Albaz fusions are very powerful because you can send them off of Mirror Jade effect. Being able to go Mirror Jade, send Titaniclad, and get access to Dogmatic Engine is really powerful. Being able to Albaz send Burgran and search the bird is really powerful. I'm playing 3 Albion specifically because I found myself in scenarios where I really wanted to have that turn 3 Tyrant follow-up to be able to just hit over the board and maybe like reset Punishment, reset Imperm, reset Skill Drain. 3 Albion makes this possible because, you know, turn 3 where you like add another Branded Fusion, you get to go Branded Fusion, send Blue Eyes again, and then, you know, make Lubellion again. Like, cause having, basically, you use the first Albion to set up your initial plays, and then you're gonna send the second Albion off of Mirror Jade effect, and then you need that third Albion to be able to send the Blue Eyes to make the Tyrant Dragon. So that's why I'm playing 3. Queritus. It's a good card. I just personally never ended up summoning it. You could probably cut this for Link Garibo if you want it, but I'm just having it in here because Fusion summons. I probably will end up cutting this for Link Garibo at some point. As I've shown, I've edited the deck a bunch of times. You might have seen in the little page I had on my decks that I had like 5 versions of Branded Blue Eyes with different names. Tyrant is crazy. Oh my goodness, this card's insane. I'm sad that I didn't get to actually show it in any of the replay, because I actually played a bunch of matches over the course of the week, but I kind of forgot that I could just like go into the match history and just watch the replays there without having to save them. And obviously, like, you can't watch the replays anymore after the day has passed, so I ended up losing a lot of replays, which is really sad. 2 Mirror Jade. I have literally never summoned the second Mirror Jade. It's literally never happened. But I'm playing 2 because I feel like it's just something that will come up. But it's just, I have never summoned the second Mirror Jade. I've never needed to summon the second Mirror Jade. So probably you can get away with playing 1, but I'm playing 2. Similarly, I've never needed to summon the second Lubellion. But probably get away with playing, like, probably don't need it. Probably can play other stuff. The 1 Guardian Chimera. I decided to just try this out alongside the little Branded in Red package. I have actually really liked it. Honestly, like, the non-targeting pop is not what I care about. It's the draw. Like, just being able to just randomly pot a greed and draw into, like, Ash after you've, like, broken your board is crazy. And then you play the Verte because sometimes your hand is terrible and you need to, like, go, like, special Ecclesia, right? Like, special this, special, like, Ecclesia, and then, like, make Verte. Because, by the way, this doesn't lock you into not lock you out of your extra deck unless you use the search effect. So you can just special this. And then Verte, send Branded Fusion, and then you can just make Mirror Jade. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. This has been Darkswing from Haltessiagaming. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, blah, 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 all that YouTuber stuff. Be sure to check out my description because I tend to leave helpful links in there. Like, you know, I've got like the deck building guide playlist in there, got the Master Duel video playlist in there, I've got like the TCD playlist in there, I've got my donation link in there if you want to help support the channel and all that. But yeah, this has been Arim from Haltessiagaming. Thank you very much for watching, and you have a wonderful day. Please go drink some water.